What's up, guys? We're back for another little update video. We have gone to the dyno with the car. We've gotten one ran of testing out at Ohio Valley, and when we were out there, we did pop the radiator cap off. This guy does not seat very well on this neck. In my opinion, it's a very bad neck design. Well, not design, but flange on top. And no fault to anybody, I guess. But this is the second time that has came off on me. So it has pretty much made a mess of the car. Everything is nasty, covered in water wetter, that Stay Frosty stuff that I've been using. So taking a few things out, cleaning everything. Pretty good, because I mean, yeah, just can't stand that, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. So yeah, we're taking some stuff apart, looking at everything, making sure stuff's tight, pulling plugs, look at them. We're pulling the valve cover off. We're gonna check valve lash, make sure everything's still looking good. That's what got us last time, so I'm kind of paranoid on that. Should be part of your program. You make over 1,000 horsepower, you should be checking this stuff. Hey, I'm getting with the program, okay? I might be a slow learner, but I'll learn. Thank you. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do today's video. So I'm anxious to see how these cams are looking after a few, hell, probably 6,000 plus horsepower hits. So, and then another thing I did want to mess with is my shifter cables. I think I want to adjust them, because when I put my lockout on, I can still go over a little bit towards fourth, and it kind of locks me out of third. Instead of being able to go into third, I hit a wall right there. So I need to try to see if there's something in the lockout itself or an adjustment in the cable, but I can't be getting locked out of third. That did kind of happen at the track the other day. Didn't mention anything about it, but I definitely need to get that addressed, just so trans is happy, shifter's happy, engine's happy, everybody's happy, you know. So all right, I'm gonna get this valve cover ripped off, and we'll come back here in a second and we'll take a look. Guys, we got valve cover off and everything's looking pretty good. Let's see if I can't get you all in here. Take a little look. Everything's looking brand new still, as it should be. Pretty happy about that. So I'm gonna get to checking these and let you know what I find. How the cams were lining up, cylinder 3 is the closest to being closed. Both of these rockers on the exhaust and on the intake have tolerance, which means the cams on the valves are on the base circle, and both valves are closed. So I'm going to connect this leak down tester real quick, and we're gonna check and see what 3 is looking like. So I got it set to 100 psi, so whatever pressure this drops to will show the percentage of leakage. Let me get this on so I can make sure we're in view. I just moved the engine. Alright, so I'm gonna have somebody. I was wondering if it was gonna do that. I just watched the cam roll and it opened the exhaust. So I gotta figure out how to hold the engine still. Alright guys, we do have some leakage. It is still in the green, but it's low. But you gotta think, we got pretty large piston in the wall. It is not coming through the exhaust. It is not coming through the intake. Yeah. It's coming past the pistons, which is alright. Feel anything around the valves. Well, pretty sure it's just, actually it might be coming past the damn thing. Yeah, so I'm gonna call that good. Past the rings. Move on to the next one. Oh, also, I ended up in a breaker bar and jamming it against the ground. Next. Alright guys, I'm standing over on this side so I can pretty much hold my foot on this breaker bar. We've adjusted 3 and 4. 1 on 3 on the exhaust barely needed moved, and 1 barely needed moved on the intake. They were within one thou of spec. Cylinder 4, both intake and exhaust were in spec, so we're shooting for 9 on the exhaust and 8 on the intake, thousandths of an inch. So I'm gonna put my foot on here and see if I can't plug this in real quick. See if I can juggle some stuff for you guys. Maybe. Oh, come on. Alright, that is pretty much exactly what 3 was. So we're gonna move on. Even is good. And valve lash correct means we're sitting in a good position. So I'm gonna tear this down and move to the next one. Alright guys, cylinder number 2 is coming up. Pulling on my foot really hard. It's about 40%, same as the others. Nothing out of the intake or exhaust, just by the piston. Alright, moving on to number 1. Alright guys, the valve lash has been going really good until now. The exhaust on number 1 is a little tighter than I recall installing it. I want to say I set these to like 8 or 9 from the get-go, and it looks like both of the exhausts are around 5. So they're either pulling into the head, not seating as good, or something. So we're gonna get these lashed and then see what the leak down looks like on this guy. Hopefully we can run it for a couple more times, but I'm gonna reach out to my engine builder, well, cylinder head engine builder, and see what he has to say about that. So I'm gonna bring you with me lashing this one. There's this
handy dandy tool, 10mm on the end, screwdriver on the inside. You just break the nut loose and adjust up to where you need to be. I'm gonna pull my 9 out. Pull my 9 out, get it ready. Start on this side. Come on, get it on there. There we go. Alright, screwdriver set, arm set. Pop that guy loose, and we're gonna have to unscrew to open. There we go. Tighten it up a bit. Tighten it up a bit. Tighten it up. Tighten it up. Tighten it up. There we go. It's pretty close. I'm gonna hold the screwdriver still and tighten the nut. Get it real tight where it's gonna live. 9 goes in. Switch to a 10. See if the 10 goes in. Alright, we got our 10. 10 does go in, so it needs loosened or tightened just a touch. Pop this loose. Just ever so slightly tighten it. Probably even, you can't even tell that I did that. Yeah. Such a fine, tiny measurement. So that 10 does not go in. Let's double check the 9. Yep, 9 goes in. So this one's good. Work on this other valve. Well, that one almost seals up better than the others. Alright. The leakage is even across the board, which is a plus, so that is good to know. Alright, I'm going to snap a picture of this with my phone, just so I have a record of everything, and work on getting this back together. Alright guys, we got the valve cover put back on, everything finished up. I spent a bunch of time the other night like really cleaning off the inside of the engine bay to get her nice and fresh looking again for you all. It's came out way better than I was expecting, but that's cleaned off. The little shifter thing I was talking about earlier, I was able to do something with that. So this is kind of a band-aid for the shifter cables being kind of loose and old. So, whoops, without that on there, it goes too far over towards 5th, which would be 5th. And this is a lockout that's supposed to prevent it from going over there. If you go over here, it hits a wall on the selector and doesn't let you go into 3rd. Trans is in a position where it won't
let me do that. But I made this guy out of that busted hose clamp from the dyno that kind of fills in that gap. If I can do this one-handed, yes I can. It kind of fills in that gap so that shifter doesn't move over as far, and that lets us hit third perfect every time. I've like drive shifted it and tried it a bunch, and when you go to like first or second, it kind of moves away from this. So I put a little spring on here so I can kind of just put it in one of these random holes in the chassis if this is gonna cooperate with me. Of course you're not. Why would you? Got the camera out. Nothing wants to go right when the camera's out. Anyways, that's supposed to hold tension on it. It does work. But I'm about to go out and do a little testing. We did change a couple small things in the map.